What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Grounded series from the Wholesale Elite podcast. I'm Tanner Santucci, and I'm with my main man, my PIC, Isham Hipster.
Yo, what up? What up, fam?
What's up, fam?
Let's get it cracking.
That's right. So Isham and I are not only, podcast hosts, series hosts, but we are also business partners. And so for those of you that are, maybe this is your first episode listening to us or, first time being on the YouTube or Facebook or whatever, Aisha and I actually own a land acquisition company, Unwind Investments, based out of Florida. So the reason I mention that is for anyone that's just like, oh, who are these guys? Do they have any credibility? I would argue we absolutely do. So we are constantly doing land deals and land deals only. And we want to start this to be able to give back, to be able to help others in their business. Because we understand that not everyone is so deeply in love with dirt like Isham and I are. So we understand that many people just come across land almost by accident, whether it's from an agent or a seller. And so we want to be able to maybe drop some gems and help you guys out on a weekly basis. If you guys have any questions to implement into your business and to help your business out. So that's what this series is about, whether you're going for your first deal, your next deal, or looking just to, add a tool into your toolbox for your business. That's what this series is exactly for. So with that being said, I want to quickly remind everyone that if you have any questions during the show, anything that you is just itching at your brain and you want to ask, we will answer it live. Just make sure you add it to the comments, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. We will see it, and we will get that answered for you here live on the show, because that's ultimately what the show is about. I know Isham and I don't want to have to rant for an hour long. We want to be able to help you guys. And the only way to do that is to know exactly what you guys are looking to get answered and whatever help you need. So feel free to drop. Don't be timid. Don't be scared. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So ask away.
There's some dumb questions, but we like dumb questions. I asked
right.
a shitload of dumb questions in the beginning because they weren't dumb to me. So don't be afraid, even if it is a dumb question. Matter of fact, that's how successful people aren't afraid of what other people are thinking of them. So if you got a question, ask it. Who gives a damn what other people think? I'll tell you this, we won't think negatively of you. We won't, promise.
No, we will absolutely not. I actually need to ask more questions. So maybe I should hop into the live and just watch this and sit in the comment section, because I got to figure too much stuff out by myself. So ask away. Like Isham was saying, the more you ask, the more you learn. So with that being said, we are also hiring at Unwind Investments. This is a new thing, and this is the first episode that we are dropping this on. We are hiring acquisition specialists specifically. So in order to do that, and maybe ask if you have any questions about what that would look like, whether that's, what the expectations are, what the pay is. Isham, how can they figure out all that information?
Yeah, just like it's scrolling across the ticker, if you're listening to it, just email us at team@unwindinvestments.com. So team@unwindinvestments.com. Just reach out, let us know, hey, what's this hiring gig all about? Look, guys, I'll tell you really quick. Number one, we want to, in the land space, completely different. At least the land space that we do it's completely different from the single family space. So if you were a single family wholesaler, if you've been hustling and whatnot and doing that, and you're looking to add this to your repertoire, this is not the job for you. It isn't. I promise you, this isn't a job where you can come in and work with us and learn some stuff and then wholesale on the side. It's a completely different mindset shift. It really is. So we're looking for people who want to be all in on land. We're looking for those weirdos that are like us, those unicorns that want to specialize in land. And I'll tell you this, guys, it's, a lot of people say land is easier. Land is just different. You know what I mean? It's no easier. It's no harder. It's just different. Yes, you don't have toilets and termites and all that stuff. But we have our own challenges on land. And so if you're looking for a solid way to get into making really good money, I made way more money with land than we did wholesaling properties. Because why? The competition pool is a little thinner, right? So we're making land sexy. We're bringing land back. We're going to make it so there's always been land. There's always been houses to, land needed to build these houses that everyone's flipping on. So this area is here to stay. So guys, if you want to come join us, we're looking for people with a little bit of real estate experience. You need to know what a contract is. You need to know what EMD stands for. Minor stuff like that. We're not really in the business of teaching people like what real estate is and how it works. All we're looking for is people that have a willingness to work, want to learn and master the land game, and want to make an S load of money in the process, or maybe an F load of money in the process. So team@unwindinvestments.com.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll add to that is if you're looking to, if you're a solopreneur or just a solo hustler in the wholesaling industry, there's no better team than ours to join. And that's not because of me and Aishan. That's because of the people we already have within our company. We're all here to help each other. We're all here to watch each other grow and help each other financially grow. Ultimately, that's why most people get into real estate, and I'm one of them. And I'll not be shy from saying that and admitting that. But ultimately, the reason we're going to be pretty strict on who joins our company, and the reason is because we want them to align with our mission and our goals and our values. Because again, like Aishan had touched base on, we don't wholesale land like everyone else does. Our method and our model is because we want to get into development. We want to get into building. And so you have to be able to you need to be wanting to do that. Because if you're just wanting to do it because, like Aishan said, it's easier. One, it's not. It's way actually more complicated. And two, our process is not simple. It's not just the percentage. So if you want to learn more about that and talk to us and talk to people on our team to figure out more about it, remember, email team@unwindinvestments.com. With that being said, I am not going to go too crazy on that.
Shout out real quick. Shout out real quick to Skylar. Yeah, sorry.
Shout out Skylar. What's up? The next thing I wanted to get into is, so someone had actually listened to our advice and left us a comment on one of our previous episodes. And so we wanted to make sure that we got to it first thing. So Kyle Scott, 2067, we're here for you, Bubba. And we're going to get this answered. So with that being said, here's the question. Ding-ding-dings like Jeopardy. I assume you guys are hand dialing. How big of a list are you guys creating with Driving for Dollars before starting to call? And how many calls are you shooting for every day? Great question. Yep. Aishan, do you want to answer this for him?
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay. So we hand dialing. So we actually use a system, but our system is basically a hand dialer. It's built into our CRM. So we don't have, big triple line dialer or anything crazy like that. What we do is we actually use what's called a GIS, right? It's the same thing as like a property appraiser site and whatnot. And it just lists out in satellite view lots. And it's pretty current, way more current than, Google Earth and whatnot. And you just kind of drive around, you look for, areas with no houses on it. You click on it, you write down the address, and we can do, gosh, what would you say, Tanner? You could probably do about 100, depending on your market, I would imagine, but maybe 100 in an hour. It doesn't take that long at all. And so you get all these addresses and then you skip trace them. And then you're off to the races. And so as far as how many calls we're shooting for a day, our team, we don't have crazy expectations. We, there's a daily, but we actually have a weekly call limit. So our guys, 250 calls a week, right? 250 leads, calling 250 leads a week is more than enough to sustain you financially. And so that's what our team shoots for, 50 a day or 250 a week. So some of the guys are crazy and want to work on Saturdays because that's when all the deals really get done. Little side note in land. But 250 a week is how many calls we shoot for. Our lists aren't that big. Like I said, you can call, it'll probably take you a week to call those 250, right? So if you're driving for dollars and it's taking you a couple hours to find a few hundred, you can see you've got enough time to keep yourself busy. About a 2-hour workday is really all you kind of need. 2 to 3 hour workday is really all you need in land to crush it.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I mean, Kyle, for those that don't know, we're in a really niche market. We're technically in a sub-market, so that's why our list is so small. But that's because we're so targeted. Again, that's just based on our model. Now, if you're looking to pull list, say you're in Orlando and you want to just pull a list of 2,000 vacant lots, by all means, go for it. but that just doesn't fit our business model, which is why our lists are so small. And honestly, our expectations for how many calls a week are so small. But again, the money follows. So if you want to spend limited time and make money, then we've kind of found a recipe for our success. Now, it's not everyone, but it's for our companies. And so that's why we have, those expectations are so minimal. Want to give some shout outs to, I see Kyle's in the chat, which is dope. Abstract A, what's up, dude? Thank you guys seriously so much. Good stuff always. Hey, we're here to provide value. That's it. So,
right. You're the man.
Hang out and ask questions. Rocky, hey, that's my dad's name. Shout out Rocky.
Hey,
so, Italian Stallions, baby. Let's go. Thank you guys. I appreciate your content, and I've been taking notes and learned a lot about applying and in my conversations with developers. Awesome. That's dope,
that's what
dude.
It's for, baby. That's all I like to hear. Thanks, Rocky. Thanks for taking action, bro.
Yeah,
hell real. Yeah, love action.
Yeah, guys, land is all about action. Just like anything in life, action. But beauty of land is you don't have to worry about foundations. So you got to worry about dirt. It's pretty nice. Skylar, do you guys work with agents who send you land deals, or do you focus direct to seller? Phenomenal question. We actually work with direct to seller, but we don't just block out agents out of our business. We do work with agents. We actually work with agents more on the dispo end because some builders and developers, the longer you're in the business, the more you understand that some developers and builders, they work really exclusive with agents. Like they really just rely on the agent. And I'll give a quick example, a quick story is we had one deal not too long ago where I've had this relationship with this agent. We've never done a deal with them. And I was using this agent kind of for dispo because I'd always see her name on all these new constructions that were listed. But long story short, I ended up reaching out to a buyer or a builder. And turns out that was one of her builders. And guess what happened? He never responded, but I got a call from that agent about 30 minutes later. Hey, my guy said that you reached out to him about a deal you had. So that was just a quick example of sometimes you're going to have to involve agents on the dispo side. Now on the acquisition side, use them. Agents come across land deals all the time and they have no clue what to do with them because most agents don't deal with land. So reach out to them. But yeah, we're all direct to seller. So
yeah, when you're that land expert for the agent, prepare yourself to get a lot more deals because I can guarantee you, especially, keep coming back and learning. You're going to start learning all the very particulars to land. Because here's what's interesting. Agents are used to comping things in a low, median, and high comp, right? They look for the low comp, they look for the medium and high, and they try to comp apples to apples, right? You compare. That's what a comp is, a comparison. And so like in our market, there can be a 50 by 120 lot in Panama City. And that same 50, that goes for 20 grand, let's say. That same 50 by 120 lot, like 5 miles down the road, can go for $300,000, right? So when you're an agent and you're looking at land, that's how they evaluate them. So when you can bring the skills and the knowledge that you have to an agent, they're going to come to you and be like, hey, I got this person who wants to sell this land. Like, what do you think we should, like now you're in the driver's seat, baby.
Yeah, that's honestly a phenomenal point. And so with land too, the cool thing about land, just like Aishem had pointed out, is not many people are educated on it. So if you can be the specialist in your market, where when someone comes across a land deal, whether that's an agent, whether that's a wholesaler, maybe a buyer that whoever it is, if you're the land specialist in your market, everyone comes to you. We've had our own buyers send us deals. We've closed on, like, our buyers are like, hey guys, I have this lot. I don't want to list it. Here you go. Wholesale it for me. So we've done deals that way. And that just comes because people think of us because we are in our market. We're actively talking to as many people as possible. And we're just known as the land guys. Our company is known as a land acquisition company. We don't market our company any other way. And so whether you have a company or whether you don't have a company, that's not the point. The point is whatever market you're in, whether you're big, small, you have 1,000 people on your team, whether it's just you, brand yourself as the land person. If you wanted to go all in on land, if you're looking to do land, like I said, as a side hustle, just kind of implement, tools and strategies that you learn maybe from this or someone else's YouTube, then, it is what it is. But if you're looking to go all in on land, brand yourself as that in your market for sure. It goes a long way. It truly does. So with that being said, I wanted to get into relationships of this episode. And guys, I just want to point out one more time, if you have questions, please, please, please ask, because that's ultimately what the show is for. And we just want to be able to answer that or answer your questions because we want to help. Anyways, back to what I was about to say. Relationships are so, so important in land. And obviously you hear relationships are so important and real estate in general, right? So you're probably like, as soon as I said that, you're like rolling your eyes. You're like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, everyone says that. But the value of relationships with builders, to me, is way higher than the relationship with the fix and flipper. Because I feel like in the long term, a builder you're gonna be able to sustain so much more wealth, understanding, and having a relationship with a builder. Because guess what most builders do? They also fix and flip. Guess what most fix and flippers don't do? They don't build. So now you're building relationships with higher level people in the industry that have way more connections, because a fix and flipper may only work with a contractor or a few subcontractors. That's kind of all they do is fix and flip, because maybe they have a 9-to-5. But a builder who's out there building houses, building property, and fixing flip, like a lot of our builders that Aisha and I and our whole company works with, most of them fix and flip. They do it as a side hustle. A side hustle. So to their building business, most flippers don't do that. So that's why I'm a big proponent on building relationship with builders. And again, not everyone is built for it. Unfortunately, no pun intended, actually. That kind of worked out perfectly. But Aisha, what are some tips you may have for building relationship with sellers? Because you do a lot of our direct to seller stuff. So what are some advice, tips on building quality relationship in land?
Yeah, great question. On the acquisition side, I love it because like Tanner said, it's all about relationships on the acquisition side and on the disposition side. But on the acquisition side, the relationships are a lot more short term. You know what I mean? So you have a short amount of time to really kind of connect with them. And so, in our business, all we're doing is we're reaching out and asking people if they're open to selling, right? That's the first question we ask. And if they say yes, we get very minimal information because if any of you guys have called, have done, outreach, you're not the first person usually calling these guys, asking them if they're looking to sell land. And so what our main target objective is to, we always say in our company, don't be better, be different. Right? Don't be better. Don't try and beat out everyone else by being better. Just be different and you'll automatically separate yourself from the masses. And so what we do is we're local. We only buy in the market that we're in, right? Now, granted, we plan on growing our markets for sure. But even then, we're still going to specialize in that market only. Our sellers now are getting postcards from people all over the U.S. And their offers are atrocious because usually they're using the percentage model. And so we just come in and beat the pants off of everyone by coming in and establishing first that we're local. And then also establishing that, hey, this is what makes us different. We're not just calling to make you an offer. We actually have some questions about your land that we couldn't find in public data. Things like the current utilities. What's the condition with the utilities? When's the last time you had your property surveyed? Have you ever had a topo done, geotech, any of that stuff? Okay, so you've got a septic tank. Is it concrete or is it steel? You start asking these questions, you now separate yourself from all these other people who are just sending postcards, and they can tell your shit. And so we always tell them, look, the reason why we're asking all this stuff, because it really does determine the value of your land. You can give me an answer that's going to increase our offer by 10 grand. And had you not answered that, you wouldn't get that 10 grand increase because we wouldn't know because it's not public information. So building relationship starts there, right? Starts with letting them know that you're a little bit different. But in the conversation, try to chill on being so transactional, right? Because the beautiful thing about land is it's very transactional. There's no emotion tied to land. The people aren't looking at their lot like, oh, I remember when my son, little Jimmy, was, there's no marks on the wall that say how tall they are. There's zero emotion when it comes to land, right? Pure transactional. Cool. Yeah, I'll sell my land. How much are you going to give me for it? It's like, well, pump your brakes. Like, I know you're used to everyone else calling and just throwing a number out there. We don't roll that way. If they hang up, great. There's no motivation. Most people don't, though. Most will stay on there. So in that conversation, just start building rapport. If you're not good at building rapport, if you don't have natural rapport building skills, or if you don't have, a skill set from previous job or experience, here's a good thing to keep in mind. Form. F-O-R-M, right? Form. If you're taking notes for anyone that's taking notes, F is for family. O is occupation. R is relation. And M is motivation. or money. Some people. So what is form? Form is something that anytime at any point you need to build rapport with someone, those are the things that you talk about. Because here's what I found out in life. People are interested in people that are interested in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite words, believe it or not, is our name. It really is. It's the sweetest sound to anyone's ear is their own name. So the more you can talk about other people, the more you can invoke curiosity from other people by being curious yourself, the more you'll connect. We have sellers all the time who say, look, I may not be ready to sell right now, but if I sell to anyone, it's going to be you guys. Swear to you.
Yep.
It happens. We just had it. Matter of fact, we had a seller call us because they got a higher offer, right? We wanted to offer them 300. They got a 350 offer. The first thing I said was, take that. Holy crap. Yes, take that. She's like, I know, I feel so bad. I promised you that I'd do a deal. I was like, don't even sweat it. It's all good. The universe will provide. You go get that money. Now, if that doesn't work out, come holler at your boy. But yeah, so building relationships, form, family, occupation, relation, motivation. So, hey, tell me a little about your family. Are you guys originally from Panama City? Just out of curiosity. They'll talk, right? So just people love talking about themselves. And so, just incorporate a little bit of rapport building with kind of going back to, talking more about the land and what was your purpose? Why'd you guys buy it a lot, back in such and such? Oh, we were going to build on it. Oh, you're going to build on it. Were you guys, looking to build your vacation home or your forever home? Well, we wanted to build our forever home, but blah, blah, blah. They're telling you all kinds of nuggets that you'll be able to use later on, not use against them, but that you'll be able to use to support your offer and really kind of encourage them to go back to their reasons. So building rapport through relationship building is key in locking up a land deal.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, when you sustain, and I actually want to add this, which is if you don't have any credibility, if you're only wholesaling land, it can actually hurt you. And what do I mean by credibility? I mean a website, or I mean a title company that can give you, that can have your back. Like you can actually, like we tell sellers all the time, hey, please call our title company. Like ask about us. Like we perform. And the reason I mention that is I've never experienced, and I wholesaled houses or single family residential, whatever, for a year before actually going full time into land. And I don't even know if I ever had someone basically argue or ask about your credibility. But in land, it comes up so much. People want to know that you're legit.
Very true.
Especially because a lot of land deals that we do they're not like $10,000 lots like most of the country. Like we're in a very luxury market. At least most of our market's luxury. So a lot of sellers. The reason I want to point that out is we had a seller yesterday that we went under contract on. It took a total of like 38 hours from the first call to go under contract. And the reason we were able to do it so quickly and so efficiently, right? From the first call, the outreach call, which is a cold call by one of our acquisition guys, to the moment we went under contract, was because they said all they wanted was credibility. All they wanted was certainty. So what do? We sent them our website. Unwindinvestments.com if you want to take a look. Then we also sent them our title company. And next thing you know, we got a call back and boom, under contract. So if you don't have any of that, though, don't feel like, oh, God, I can't wholesale land. Like, no, you certainly can. But just build those relationships with the title company at least, because the title company is the best credibility anyone can have. Screw websites. If you have a title company that has your back, you're golden in real estate. And so,
yeah. By the way, we didn't have any of that when we got started. We didn't have the website and all that stuff. We still did deal. You can do a deal. You may have to fumble through it. You may have to, and they're like, hey, I don't see. So, I always say, gosh, and I mean this. The truth is good enough. It really is. I know we want to, say like, if they ask you about your website, you could say something like, oh, our website's down right now for maintenance. So we're actually working on it. It's okay to say, hey, look, we're just now realizing the importance of a website and we're actually working on building one right now. And so happy to share that with you as soon as we get that thing up and running. But what I like to tell people is, hey, go look at my social media. I'm a real person. My name's Isham Hipsher. You can look me up on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm a real person. I've got a wife and kids, because people want to know that they can relate to you. You're not just some voice over the phone. I tell people that all the time, and I encourage them to look us up. I don't have any skeletons in my closet, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't either.
Yeah, hopefully no one does. I see this from Abstract. So Abstract A just started 2 days ago and got hung up on with a potential buyer after asking their build cost. LOL. I thought it was a good question. LOL. Honestly, I'm glad you said this. So I would love to know the context of how you asked it, because I feel like and I'm not assuming anything, right? I literally have no context, so I'm not calling anyone out. But I will say, if you just straight up called a buyer, hey, what's your build cost, and kind of just said it very bland, then builders don't want to waste time, right? And so that's actually something I was going to go into today. Is when you're calling these builders, especially if it's your first conversation with one, you need to really make sure that they're willing to have that a conversation with you. If you can tell right off the rip, and you can usually, that they're super short, they don't give a shit about what you're saying, then I usually don't even mention. There's a lot of questions I don't ask, because I just want to know, are they buying at that point? Sure, let me show you that we're legit. And how do you show someone you're legit? By sending them a deal. So there's a lot of questions I don't ask on a first call if I know a builder or a buyer or an investor is super short, and you can tell he doesn't give a shit about what you're saying. He's not even listening. He's in his car with Jonas Brothers in the background. There's just certain questions you have to ask. But again, I would love to know the context behind how that conversation was going. If it was a great conversation and then you asked that and then he just hung up, that I really don't know what to tell you, because I've never had one builder get mad at me or hung up on me from asking about their build cost.
Well, let me ask, Tanner, what's a great way to start a conversation with a builder who seems pretty, hey, time is money. What you got?
Yeah, call them out on it. So what you would say is, hey, look, it seems like you're super busy right now. I'm not here to waste your time, but what I will say is that we do deals. I'm happy to refer you to I always use our title company. It's the best way too. Hey, look, I'll refer you to our title company. If not, I would love to know at least where you're buying, because I'll send you deals. That's all I need. Just give me where you're buying. I'll send you deals, and I'll prove to you that we're legit and that we do market good deals. So at least get that information. So that way you can send that. And then you can slowly, once builders start to see you're legit, you're good. Most of the last 5 deals we've sold have been basically to the same builder, because he doesn't even ask questions at this point. It's just I send him a contract, he signs it, doesn't even care about the purchase agreement, doesn't need to look at it, just boom, on the way, EMD, right? But that took time to build. A lot of these builders want to see that, because they're busy people, man. They gotta manage all these subcontractors. They got all these projects going on. The last thing they want to do is have someone like us calling them in the middle of their day, asking them, these basic questions, right? So you have to show your worth in that regard. And outside of that, though, yeah, call them out on it. Hey, it seems like you're busy. I don't want to waste your time, but if you could at least tell me where you're building, I'd love to send you some deals, man. And I'd show you. I just want to show you that we're legit and that I know what I'm doing. Boom.
If I could say one more thing to that, and yeah. I don't talk with a lot of builders, but anyways, know your worth, know what you're bringing to the table, and be 100% confident in that. For real, we are actually doing a service for builders, a major service, because they're paying it's tough for a builder to get land. It really is. They have to, on top of building their projects and focusing on that, they've got to go find deals and call and try and talk them down. And look, we're trying to eliminate all of that for you. So just have that heart and that understanding. And look, it's okay for a builder to disqualify themselves. I would actually prefer someone being an asshole. That way I'll know, okay, cool. We still don't have to work with you. There's so many builders we got hung up on when we started building our business. We just don't work with them. They don't, maybe they'll reach out later when they start, seeing all the unwind signs popping up, around the neighborhood. We just don't work with them. So it's all good.
Yeah. Some people you're just not going to jive with, right? That same builder that you just called, got hung up on, I could call him and me and him could vibe, right? That's just the law of the land. And I don't say that in a ego way, in my way. I just say that there's probably builders that I don't jive with that you would call and you would have a great relationship with, right? And so it's just be understanding of that. So you also said, and this helps because this is context. I told him I specialize in vacant lots and asked if he was looking for lots in that area. He stated if I had anything at the moment. I told him I was building a pipeline, but not at the moment. And then he stated, if you have something, give me a call. I asked what his build cost was and he hung up. Okay, I'm actually super glad you mentioned this, because I'll be honest with you, even when there's times where all of our deals are pending or in escrow, I don't even tell builders hey, we're working on stuff in the pipeline. The reason for that, again, is because as soon as you say that triggers them oh, are they legit, right? Oh, they don't even have anything. What am I doing on this phone call? And so the only way to really get around that is say, hey, look, I've got a few deals I can send you. Send them ghost properties, like you know what I mean. Like send them a random lot that make sure it didn't sell in the last like 3 years or something. But send him a random lot that's owned by an individual and say, hey, I have this under contract. And then if he happens to get back to you and he's like, I'll take it, then just tell him, hey, look, I already sold that. Like you're just trying to get in the door. Like be creative with it. And I'm not sitting here justifying lying to people. Like I'm not. But some people, you have to be creative. It's real estate. It's business. Like people lie in real estate. People lie in business to get indoors that they don't belong in, right? Like sometimes you have to do that. It's just the name of the game. But there are ways around that. And one of my favorite things to tell builders is if you're going to be honest with them and say, hey, look, I don't have anything. One of my favorite things is, hey, look, dude, I'm just trying to learn the land game. I'm trying to be in your position one day. I want to be a developer just like you. So that's the only reason I'm reaching out is because I want to learn how to properly underwrite this stuff and work with you on deals. So that way I can be just like you one day. Dude,
the truth is good enough.
Yeah. They're, just shoots up and like, they just get super happy and they're willing to help you in those regards. Right. Yeah. So figure out ways to boost their ego. That's all they want really. And then you'll just keep figuring out. They'll stay on the phone with you longer, essentially. They're lost on to the next. So, this is great to keep moving on relationships with builders, right? So not only do you not want to waste their time, but the best way to show, again, just like anyone, is just bring them a good deal, guys. And it's so easy to say that, and I feel terrible because land's not easy. But partner with people. Go network with other wholesalers in your market. There are land wholesalers. Like we are in a very small market relative to most wholesale markets. And yet there's other wholesalers that do land in our market. And what do? We collaborate with them. We work with them. We've JV'd with other wholesalers. Like go find deals that other wholesalers have in your market and leverage their deals to go build relationship with buyers. Like if you don't want to send a ghost property, then go find other wholesale deals on Facebook or just go to, real estate groups, meetups, find people that are wholesaling land or doing land and see if you can work with them on their properties and send those to the builders. And that way you'll have leverage to, start a relationship and start a conversation with that they'll be way more willing to listen. Got it. Brothers. I definitely understand. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Go crush it, dude. Keep taking action. Don't worry about getting hung up on. That should happen. You should have heard. I want to say this really quick story. I forgot me and Aisham had to do something like one whole weekend. And I had one of our acquisition guys actually move over to the dispo end for like 2 days to help with some other stuff that was going on. And the first call he had, it was phenomenal. And he called on like a Friday at like 5:30, and we record all of our calls. And he called the builder at like 5:30, and the questions he was asking, like he got destroyed on the phone by this builder. And so don't feel bad about getting hung up. Like I promise, you're probably never going to get rich like our one of our guys did. Like it was the funniest thing. So don't feel bad about getting hung up at all. So Skylar, you guys going to write a book on wholesaling land deals? You should. I'd buy it. Dude, that would be sick. If we were to write a book on land deals. Actually, we may just do
I was going to say, with our recent connections, I think something may be coming down the pipe.
It may be a picture book though, guys, because writing is not my strong suit. So you might have to follow it in the kids section of Barnes and Noble, but I promise, we may work on that,
It'll just be his picture though, because he's so handsome.
No, I can be handsome one. Come on now. Actually, you may just bring on abstract and take his picture because his beard is crisp,
bro.
So, anyways, yes, moving on. Agents. A lot of people with agents and wholesaling feel like they don't go good together. It's funny because Aisham and I were just at a mastermind over this last weekend in Phoenix, and we connected with an agent, and he calls himself a dealator, not a realtor. And so
shout out Matt.
Yeah, shout out Matt. And so this guy is incredible. And the reason I bring him up is because there are agents out there that want to work with wholesalers. They see the value in wholesalers. Now, do not call yourself a wholesaler. Please don't. Like even he said it. Call yourself an investor. If you have no money in your bank account and you're trying to get into wholesaling, whether that's property or land or whatever it is, make sure that you tell yourself you're the buyer. Like believe that shit. Like you can go out and actually purchase real estate with no money out of your pocket. Like you could have $0 in your account and you could go do a flip right now. You really
No credit, none of that. Because it's all based on the value of the asset. So you're an investor. You are an investor. Look, wholesaling is an exit strategy, right? Like if you say I'm a flipper, that's an exit strategy. If you say I'm a buy hold guy, that's an exit strategy. If you say I'm a wholesaler, it's an exit strategy. Real estate investors do all three of those. You're a real estate investor. You're not a wholesaler.
Yep. Yeah. And so pound that shit in your head. And I need to stop saying wholesalers. Everyone's investors, right? I don't call myself a wholesaler. That's for damn sure. So you have to believe in that shit. And again, you can. And so anyways, back to the map point, like there are plenty of agents out there that want to work with investors, right? They want to work with us. And so when you're going to build these relationships, especially in land, make sure you just tell the agent you're going to make sure they get paid. Whether it's an on-market deal, whether it's an off-market deal. If it's an off-market deal, pay a referral fee. Say, hey, I'll pay you $2,000 a flat fee. If you bring me any deals. And that way, because like agents want to get paid too, just like us, right? We're not going to, as investors, we're not going to waste our time going and hunting these properties, going and hunting these deals if we know we're not going to get paid. Like we only go hunt those deals because we know there's a big paycheck at the end of the tunnel, right? Same for the agents. Agents don't go out and just cold call like these sellers and hunt deals just for them to, not get paid. So make sure you're telling agents that, hey, look, I'm the land guy in the market. Like, be confident with it. Hey, I'm the land guy in the market. I see that you're an agent. I see that you've actually, listed some land deals in the area. I just wanted to reach out to you personally and see if you had anything either coming to market, or even if you just ever come across any off-market deals that, potentially that you would take. If you would let us take the first look before you even list it, because we may be able to buy it and save you so much time, right? And tell them, hey, I'll give you $2,000 if you do that. And we close on it. Boom, dude. You're going to, the agent back pocket, you're on speed dial, you're at the top, you're pinned on their text message board. Like, agents want to do that. And I've mentioned it in the past, is you can go find land agents on Zillow. Like, go to your market, for real, go to your market, type in for sale, or not type in, but click the for sale, type in lots. You'll see all the little red dots. Over time, the longer you're in a market, you're going to start seeing literally the same. It doesn't matter how big the market is. Like, there's only a handful of agents that truly understand land. You're going to start seeing these same names over and over and over and over again. Those are the people you want to be in relationships with.
I'll add real quick to that. No, it's all good. This is something, a lack of belief that I had, that when I was freed of it, it was very helpful. I didn't want to work with agents because I didn't want to split the pot. You know what I mean? Like, you can get some big rips on land deals. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we're going to have to, and all they're doing is bringing the deal. Like, we've done all this work and this and that. But what's funny is you don't have to split the pot with agents. Like, we'll make 15, 20 grand, on a rip. And then we're paying out the agent a few thousand. They're stoked for that. Like, it's like, so don't worry that you're going to have to share this massive pot with the agent. Just build that relationship with them, keep them paid, stay in communication with them, and you'll be fine. And they want to make money just like we do, but they've got, for us, it's just one source that we're looking at. They've got all kinds of different, sources. So they can get a little 2,000 here, and they've got multiple closings usually a month from all kinds of different stuff. So yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to beat into everyone's brain that's listening to this. And I really didn't spend a lot of time on it, and I'm not going to now. But if you're brand new into land, and just like Abstract A, I wish I knew your first name there, boss. So I have to call you Abstract, but maybe Abstract is your first name. I don't know. But go talk to other wholesalers and leverage their deal. Now, don't go find another wholesaler's deal and just market it without their permission. Like, talk to them. Hey, I'm new to the market. I really want to help you try to move this thing, and I want to use your deal, to potentially JV, or just go build relationships. Honestly, if you just tell another wholesaler that has a land deal, hey, look, I won't even take 50-50. I just want to leverage your deal to go build more relationships in the area. Are you okay with that? Dude, like, if the spread's 10,000 and you want to take 1,000 off, just say, hey, give me $1,000. I just want to use your deal to go. Like, that's going to make you so much more money in the long run. And people need to think more about the long run in terms of investing and business, rather than so short term. So if you have to take an L on a first deal or take very minimal, please just do it. Like, for real. Like, we've given a lot of our builders, when we first started land, we've given them pretty significant discounts just for them to see our credibility. And now those small discounts have turned into massive spreads, right? Because they started working with us. They saw our process. They saw that, hey, these guys are legit. They do deals. They know what they're talking about. Now they don't even argue with our price. Now they just accept what we give them. Right. And so, like, for real, it's actually crazy. It's so nice. So just use those maybe, tips and tricks to go build relationships.
Shout out Kyle for using an agent. There you go.
Hey, let's go, Kyle. Agent gang.
Rocky said he's used agents too. So cost effective.
Yeah, agents and land, like, Merry Christmas. You guys can have a heyday because agents don't know usually about land.
By the way, real quick, side shout out to my cousin. My cousin's in the chat. She's not even in real estate. What's up, Trisha?
Let's go.
I had to do that real quick. I love you.
I love you. Rocky also said, totally interested in joining the team. I just submitted an email and contact info. Was just discussing with the wife about pivoting and working with an REI company in order to live in my purposes.
Let's go.
Or my purpose. Let's go, dude. That's dope. Yeah, we'd love to talk to you, man. Look, we're trying to build a culture. So we like high energy people. If you haven't noticed, we're pretty high energy. We're constantly running around all day. If anyone listening, you guys want to join a high energy cultured company where, we're constantly wheeling and dealing, we're constantly having fun. We're all like brothers. Everyone in the company we're super close. We may live in other states and do a lot of stuff virtually, but we take trips together. Like, we'll go down to Florida together. We'll do stuff together as a team. So if you guys want to be a part of something like that and really learn the land game and really just help the company grow, then we'd love to have you, or at least love to have a conversation with you.
We just had an awesome trip to Florida. We went down to 30A. If you guys haven't seen, just Google 30A and your minds will be blown. Took the team down there, rented out a sick Airbnb. I mean, it was fun. We just ate. We met with our builders. We walked properties. We had lunch with our title company, and their CEO showed up. They've got like 14 different offices. Dude's mega rich, but we were doing so much work with him, so many deals that the CEO invited us to lunch with the whole team. And so, yeah, I mean, we'd love to have you on board as long as you fit the company culture and want to work and aren't afraid of getting punched in the face every now and again by a seller or a buyer. Then come on down.
That's right. And to mention this, guys, this business is extremely simple, and I don't just mean land. I mean, real estate is actually simple. Now there's math. I sucked at math, so that can be not fun. But overall, it's find a deal, sell a deal. And you just have to build strong relationships with certain people. And I want to keep that theme. So like Aisha was saying, we went to lunch with our title company, right? The CEO is who wanted to go to set up the whole lunch. Like, he wanted to take us to lunch because we were doing, we're one of the top producers for that entire company. And again, they have multiple offices. We didn't know that at the time. So that was a pretty cool thing. But at the same time, the reason they were willing to do that, again, is because we've built that relationship with them where we can call or text anyone at the title company office that we work with. We can text them at 1:00 in the morning. They're going to respond and they're going to help us out with whatever we need. But I don't want to say that to sound, again, egotistical or anything. I want to say that because that's what happens over a long, guys, we've only been wholesaling land for 7 months, 6, 7 months, like 6, 7 months, half a year. And so, guys, as long as you're honest, you're hardworking, people trust you and you're nice. One wholesaler, and shout out to Noah if you're watching or listening. Noah's a G. He's in Indianapolis. Noah Wallen, go hit him up. Talk land with him as well. But he texted me a screenshot of he texted a buyer and a builder, sent him something, and his response was, "Yep, that's the lot." And I about jumped through the phone and smacked him in the head because I was like, "Noah, that is the worst response to give." He said, "Yep, that's the lot." You sound rude, right? The only reason I'm bringing this up is don't be that person. If someone asks you a question, is this the one? Don't say, "Yep, that's the lot." Say, "Of course, yeah, that's absolutely the lot. If you have any questions, please let me know." Again, that's the little stuff in business that will actually make people want to work with you. Now that person remembers you because you're not just like every other wholesaler. You're not just like every other investor that's short. That seems like they don't care. They're just looking for this. Because when you're short like that in a conversation, you seem like you just care about the transaction. And ultimately, transaction doesn't mean shit if you don't have the relationship. Because relationships is what make you wealthy, right? A transaction can make you rich, but it won't make you wealthy. So just depending on what your goals are and financially and personally, relationships overall dominate this industry. And relationships is what helped us grow and scale as fast as we have in 6 months and has made us all the money because of relationships. Like I said, we don't give a shit about the transaction. We've done deals for $0, guys. So if you're one of these people that just instantly go into every conversation, I'm just thinking about the deal and not the relationship, you're in the wrong business, people. For real. Go get a sales job at a call center. I don't know what to tell you because we've done deals for $0 because we wanted to help the sellers out. And we knew in the long term, it would ultimately benefit the business. And sure enough, that was the first deal we did with a dispo agent. And that buyer has now, that was the first deal we did with them. Now that buyer has bought probably 4 or 5 deals off of us because they was like, you got the agent. I could probably put a screenshot up here at some point, but the agent was like, I've never had that happen before, where we literally just gave all of our funds to help the seller and to make sure the deal went through because the buyer was getting like cold feet. So I just wanted to point that out there. Focus on relationships and not the money, people. It'll pay off way in the long run. Trisha, yeah, communication is the key to success. This is you said the cousin, right?
That's my cuz.
Let's get it, cuz. Let's get it.
That's my cuz.
And so, yeah, the other thing is like whenever you're not so worried about, and we've had to, and I'm sure Isham could so attest to this because he's worked with one of our at guys, Retta. Shout out Retta if you're listening. We fucking love you, freaking love you, bro. I don't want to. We freaking love you, bro. Just an absolute beast. But when Retta first started with us, he was 18 years old at the time. And, you know, he hadn't had much experience talking to people. And he's an 18-year-old. He's a hustler. He just wants to make money. He wants to be that super young, rich dude that has a Lamborghini on Instagram. And who doesn't, right? But what his problem was is he was so transactional in all of his relationships. Like a seller one time literally was like, yeah, my family died or something, you know, something like
family member, yeah.
And dark. And he was like, cool. All right. So tell me about the lot. Like, I was like, bro, like just went straight on. And so don't be that person. Please, for the love of God, don't be that person. But now
don't be Retta.
Yeah, don't be Retta when he first started. But the reason I bring that up when he first started is now he's learned relationships are the key. And he doesn't think so much transactional. And guess what? He just locked up a deal where he's going to make close to 20 grand as an acquisition guy. He locked it up yesterday, right? Because his pipeline has been like growing like tremendously. The amount of leads he gets in, people want to talk to him now because he doesn't think about the deal. He thinks about the situation, right? The person. What can I do to solve their problem rather than what can I do to make more money? Those are two different things. And simultaneously, they go hand in hand. You solve a problem, you make money, but you don't make money if you don't solve a problem. So focus on the relationship with people.
Peace out, Skylar, by the way.
Yeah, Skylar, thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging out. Isham, do you have anything on relationships, whether buyer, agent, seller, title company, whoever, that you want to add that I missed, or you just feel like just going on a tear?
Man, I mean, I can go on a rant with relationships. I mean, I do every morning on our team call. I mean, I push it so hard because it really is everything. You know, it really is everything. It truly is. Because look, I had to tell our team this, and I think we forget this sometimes, but our sellers have moms and dads. Our builders have moms and dads and wives and kids that love them. Our sellers have kids that love them. You know, on the land side, we're not dealing with distress. You know, we're not. We're just dealing with regular people that bought some land. Usually we're dealing with people that have a little bit of money, you know. And so you've got to understand that these are real people. They really are. And you want them to feel that energy, that you're not treating this just as a transaction. Sure, that's what this is. Everyone knows we're not in this to act like we're someone's best friend only to desert them. I say it all the time in our team. Look, this one seller that I'm building this relationship with, her and I both know the score. When the deal's closed, she's not getting a postcard from me on Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, we're not besties. It's all good. We're in a relationship. You know, we're in a relationship until that relationship ends. But while we're in that relationship, I'm going to treat it as such. For real. I'm going to do everything I can to value our relationship. You know, there's been times where we've had to, Tanner went over to one of our sellers' properties to help him offload stuff from the shed. They had a shed on the property that we needed to get moved. And on closing day, the shed's still there. And so we're like, hey, you know, what can we do? And he's like, oh man, this and that. So we ended up calling our buyer and saying, hey, look, you know, we're going to have to close with the shed still on there. But Tanner went over there and helped them move some stuff out. What did that guy end up doing? Ended up leaving us an awesome Google review. Who sees that Google review? The whole effing world does. You know what I mean? Like that was a solid thing. But we weren't, it's not like we do it, you know, we didn't do it to get the Google review. We did it because it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So put the relationships first in this business and you'll win. You'll win every time. Beat the pants off your competition because they're all transactional. We're all relational.
Yep. That's the difference. And that's a mic drop be relationship driven and not transactional driven, and you'll make a lot more money, like insanely amount. And once you start realizing that, and it takes time, people, like you can't build a relationship like in one night. Like you can't just have one conversation with someone and be like, yeah, relationship. Like that stuff you have to nurture, follow up with people, text people, like, wish them Merry Christmas, wish them Happy Birthday, wish them all these things. Like just be nice to people. And don't always talk like deals with them. Like there's builders and buyers I talk to all the time that we'll talk about the freaking Atlanta Braves game last night. Like, there's, just have those friendships with people, because ultimately those are the ones that will drive your success. But with that, I think it is time to conclude this episode. So again, in the final words of me, actually, and I was going to try to say something smart, but me, in the final words, if you're interested in joining our team, email team@unwindinvestments.com. We'll get in touch with you. We'll have a conversation, see if we're a good fit and all that merry jazz, and see if you want to work with us. But outside of that, Isham, any final words for the listeners?
No, I mean, not really. Just keep coming back, keep asking questions, keep working as you're going throughout the week. I have a little, what is it? The Apple reminders thing or whatever. And that's where, I'm in the shower or whatever. I just jot down that question, because I promise you'll forget it. You will. If you got to wait the whole Wednesday to come back, just ask it, or jump into a previous episode and ask a question. So even if like you go back and listen to old episodes and you've got a question from the content that we shared, you can drop that question in that episode, or come back to the live if you can make it. If you can't make the live, it's all good. But yeah, keep the questions coming, because look, there's no dumb question. There really is no dumb question. They're dumb questions, but we don't consider them dumb questions. If you're asking what kind of underwear I wear, that's kind of a dumb question. It's not relevant, but I'll tell you.
It's white.
Calvin Klein's on. Whitey tighties.
So diapers.
It's because I'm an old man. F you, Tanner. Yeah, guys, email us if you're curious about working with us. All we're looking to hire right now are acquisition folks. We would love a lady. We want a lady on our team. We need some balance. Let's bring some of the ladies in here. I know some ladies are out there wanting to get in a land game. And so, man, that'd be amazing for our cultures to have a lady on the team. But we don't discriminate. We are equal opportunistic people. So yeah. And by the way, we're no one's boss. We're not employee. We're not the people that say, these people work for us and that stuff. No. We are 1,000%, 1,000,000% a team. Matter of fact, our org chart isn't even shaped like a triangle. It's not. It's responsibilities that are kind of divvied up. And so, if a better person comes along that can fill my spot, you better believe they're going to get it, because the mission of our company is way more important than our own little, soft egos. And so, guys, if you've got some value and you want to bring it to the team and you want to make some money with us, then shoot us an email, team@unwindinvestments.com. I will say our interview process is pretty thorough. It's pretty hardcore. There's a lot of steps in it, and it's like that for a reason. So anyways, that's all I got, dude. Thanks for throwing it my way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so make sure you like, subscribe. I hate to say this shit, like I really do.
It's good. Please do.
But like, subscribe. If you get like value out of this, like let us know, like for real, because we don't want to. This is a whole lot of our hour of our day we're taking, and if it's not getting value, it's not getting out there to people. Like we'll stop. Like we have a whole nother podcast we do anyways. So we have a business to run. Like if you get value, like, subscribe, comment, tell people about it. Like if you know people that want to get into land, tell them about it. Like come ask questions, interact with us. Like that's what we're here for. So outside of that, it's a wrap, y'all. We're gonna get back to work, and thanks for everyone showing up. So peace.